All right, hell yeah. So I think hole dynamics, especially big holes, is kind of the last piece of the puzzle for, things like R1ing the Stikine. I think big water and the potential to go into mandatory holes requires, it's good to know like what the hell is actually going to happen. And so I'm going to point out one thing that I was just kind of surprised about. We have a vertical boat, we're on a pile, and our bow is going towards the shoulder. And so this goes towards the shoulder. The thing that's crazy is just how vertical this boat gets when it gets towards the shoulder. Especially if you're entering a hole and you have a portion of your boat that's actually outside. Let's say you're dropping into this sideways. There's no difference between dropping in sideways right here. This portion of the boat is going to get just thrown. The shoulder current's going to take it. This is going to stick and plug, and this thing is going to go airborne. All right, hell yes. This is the lock saw, and we make this same, this is a fundamental mistake that I'm making. I'm jumping to the pile, and I'm accentuating the bow. So watch me jump to the pile, and the back of the boat will just go skyrocketing. And so that's what we're going to slow down and talk about. I kind of made this video twice, and so I can talk about it quicker. Like right here, our boat is surfing. So pretend like I'm facing upriver. You know what I mean? This portion of the boat is now catching and going towards the shoulder. And that's what's gonna go skyrocketing. So if I can see that and know that if I'm plugging right here, my boat is now surfing, and this is the worst location. Going for the shoulder is the worst because of this verticality of this. If the boat went the other direction and then going towards the pile, hell yeah, it might flip actually real hard. But it would at least be kind of toastered into a side surf. So now this is just pretty wild. And so that's something that I need to be aware of and, jump for that. Hell yeah, if I know that this is going to happen, this is setting up like a POP-SHUV it, and I can just jump for this tube. I'm in the worst location. All right, let's get back to the main part of the video. And so that's kind of what we're talking about today, is just, hey, looking at these physics. And then the cool thing about, people are pushing the limits now, and what I would suggest is just like, hey, keep running big holes, like especially with safe swims. It's kind of the last thing that people are willing to R1, to throw themselves into a big hole, even if it is categorically safe to swim, just because the dynamics is just like, I don't think yet that as R1ers we know exactly what's gonna happen, just because there's so little footage of us doing this. And so one in particular legend is Ben Lloyd. I definitely enjoy everything about his R1 style and going for it. And so I just want to show just a real quick clip. So the big pile and going in vertical plug, and this portion of the boat is going to come out the shoulder. So what are you going to expect? And that's all I'm going to show. I'll do a link in the description, but look at this. This portion of the boat goes extremely vertical. And so I've talked about in my videos being like, sometimes you're on the opposite tube. You're actually low side tubing that and it's hitting. And then I would call that either a Pop-Tart or a POP-SHUV it, where it's mandatory. You just know that this is going to go sideways and pop. But being on the shoulder, the craziness of how vertical that portion of the boat gets. All right, so hell yeah. And so you can watch that one on his Instagram channel. And so we're just going to look at this again just to know, like, hey, if I do that low-sided turn, like, hey, that's going to go way vertical. So the bigger the hole, I might be just instantly flipping or just getting ready for a huge ride. And what happens is this goes so vertical that it really gets your boat back. It does the 180 so fast, and that's a cool thing. So in this clip, I'm low-siding this tube. The clip of Ben, he was on that high side, but I'm low-siding this. That actually drives this, and this is a much smaller hole. But now I can know that's going to happen, and I can jump to the high side. And here, this summer, I didn't really even know what I was I wasn't analyzing this footage, but just like right here is the second that I want to jump to the pop-tarted boat, you know what I mean? So, so hell yeah. So the boat gets toastered into a 90, but because this is such a dynamic move with a vertical boat going to the shoulder and just going so vertical up with the bow, that this instantly brings the boat around. And so I will slow it down just a little bit, because if I do a pop shove it, and this would classify as a pop shove it, like if you're actually going to drive this in and the boat's going to pop up, hell yeah, then you can actually jump up to here. And that might be like from an aesthetic or a picture standpoint, having a picture of you on your boat where the boat is fairly out of the water. And with a pop shove it, with the feet really driving this in, you can jump off the floor and then just know that the bow's even going to get farther pushed up and you can jump to this tube. And then if you jump in a pop shove it, you're going to be facing, you know what I mean, you're going to be facing upriver, and so a pop shove it is no varial. So once you lay this in, you're just going to jump backwards and then land on that high-sided tube. The boat's going to come around, and then the paddle's going to be, see how we started on this right side? You're going to pop shove, jump to this, and then I should be facing upstream, and then I just get ready for a forward paddle stroke. And you could technically do this on repeat. You could do a pop shove after pop shove on a feature like this. And that's cool, because look at this. The thing just goes around into the same spot again, kind of. It actually kind of goes more towards the shoulder. But if you did this pop shove correctly, you could drive it back into that same location. All right, hell yeah. So we're done with this one. But I just think I dig, and let me know, you know what I mean? People probably don't want me to do videos on their content, so I'm just going to do it very stealthy, and hopefully it comes across as appreciative. You know what I mean? There's a pecking order among the R1ers, and I know my place, but hell yeah, we are a mad scientist, and we do it. So booyah. All right, hell yeah. Thanks for joining me. Booyah.